My project has examined how the percipient can be engaged in the artist's experience using digital and hybrid media techniques. Through my project, I've investigated various mechanisms of engagement including participation, projection, podcast and use of personal digital space, interactive on and offline mechanisms, and physical output through print. The primary manifestation of my project is a website, www.paul-thompson.org. It focuses upon engaging the percipient through online interaction in the product of my artistic experience, namely the performance of 6 walks. Walking has always formed part of my practice, and as such it evolved as a natural mechanism through which I would be able to examine digital and hybrid mechanisms for the proactive engagement of the percipient in the artist's experience. Within the website, I invite the percipient to further engage in the artist's experience by performing one or more of the walks, documenting their experience, and then contributing their own images via the media-based social networking site Flickr. I composed these walks to be non-site specific, with my performances serving as an exemplar or illustration. Therefore, within the website, the percipient can engage to varying degrees, ranging from digital grazing to active and contributory participation. In addition to presenting my outputs, the website also exhibits the percipient's active engagements through the subsection Walks in Other Places. The site, therefore, perhaps encompasses most fully the mechanisms of how a percipient can be engaged in the artist's experience using digital and hybrid media techniques. In my work, I also examined the processes of certifying, authorizing, transferring, and authenticating works produced in digital or variable media. I espoused Steve Deitz's concept that digital art may be better viewed as performative rather than visual art, and I also referenced Solowit's mechanisms for certification, adapting his concepts to form the basis of walk certificates. By downloading, assembling, and using the certificate, the percipient's performance of the walk becomes official. And, additionally, by printing and assembling it, the percipient is again being engaged in the artist's experience using a digital, physical, hybrid mechanism. Thus, in my project, I have examined a spectrum of mechanisms for engagement in the artist's experience, with physical prints at one end of the spectrum and interactive, participatory, performance-based art through a digital hybrid medium at the other. During my studies, my practice has shifted to a wholly practice-based research model, and therefore, within this context, I have begun to examine questions arising from the practice of printmaking in the digital age. Setting these questions against the work being undertaken by others, which examine broader contextual and cultural issues such as the state of being in a digital culture, Negroponte, the nature of surface in digital printmaking, Coldwell, making and curating interactive art, Muller and Edmonds, and mind, body and electronic technology in fine art, Howarth. These questions formed into a proposal to examine the physical and temporal boundaries of the digitally transferred image within visual arts printmaking practice, which has now been accepted by Gray School of Art at the Robert Gordon University, and I will begin my doctoral research in September this year. My new project will examine how physical and temporal boundaries to the transferred image are being redefined by rapid developments in both the technical practice of digital printmaking and, more critically, the shifts resulting from mass digital participation, embodied as Web 2, social networking, and on-demand. This research will examine how the transferred image, when mediated in these terms, might impact on the current and future definitions and practices within printmaking. Therefore, what will be the role of the visual arts printmaker in post-material digitized practice? And what are the physical and temporal boundaries of the digitally transferred image? Equally, what implications arise for the instigation, production, editioning, collection and ownership of print in this